Y'all, it's your boy Smitty the Elephant in the room, and I'm here with the man himself, Bernie the Boxer. What's going on, man?
What's good?
How you feeling? You back down here in Norfolk for four of your young bulls. You got Keyshawn with the main event, Keon, Kelvin, and Troy Isley. How you feeling?
Oh man, it's like I say, for a fella like me that love boxing, it's a dream come true. You know, I'm so happy for the kid defending the world championship, winning the world championship. You know, Kelvin going up for WBO Intercontinental title. And I'm so excited for him and his journey, if you know his story. And then Juice Man, you know, I mean, like I say, in the next couple of years, this guy, I mean, just to see this guy perform, it's like writing his own ticket, you know. I call it a blank check, you know, to watch Juice Man perform, you know what I'm saying, to watch him, all the things he can do. So I'm excited. Then you got Troy, who's right on the cusp of fighting for the middleweight championship. And, you know, just a quiet warrior. And I'm excited for him. You know, like he said, he's going to let his hands do the talking, so look for a standout performance by Troy Isley. Shout out to Mega Troy.
Mega Troy, the Transformer, that's my guy. And of course, you got your main man, the lightweight champion, man, Keyshawn Davis versus Edwin De Los Santos for the main event. What's your thoughts on that, man?
You know, when you being a champion, you want to fight credible opponents. You know, I think Edwin De Los Santos is a credible opponent. I think Keyshawn, you know, all the excitement and the flair that he brings, and he likes to fight. He's a warrior. He likes to fight. He really gets up for a fight. You know, as good as he can box. You know, he's a mean guy. And De Los Santos is a perfect homecoming title defense. You know. A young guy, because this guy is in his 20s too. I think he's what, 27?
I think he's about 28, 27.
Okay,
yeah, so he's still technically in his prime.
You know, he ain't really took no abuse. He got one. I don't know if it's just one loss against Shakur, or it might be a.
I think he lost. Yeah, he beat Ryo. I think he just got that one loss against Shakur.
Okay, yeah. And so, like I'm saying, you know, Shakur is like, you know, best of the best. So, man, you know, so I think it's a. It just blow him up that even more. Let me say it like that. You feel me? I'm fighting somebody tough in my hometown for my first title defense, like Bud did when he fought Gamboa when he won the title. So, you know, a lot of similarities there, and so it makes the atmosphere that much better.
Got you, man. Now I gotta ask you this. You know we gotta address the elephant in the room to blow up on the stage, Keyshawn and Abdullah, man. And what's your thoughts on that? I asked Bob earlier about that. He was like he would love to make that happen maybe in 2026 or maybe a little later. He says right now it might be too soon, but he said that could be a fight we could look forward to seeing. What is your thoughts on that?
Good. Because I feel like the same thing. I feel like the kid ain't ready yet, not just yet. He's only what, 20? Keyshawn's 26. He growing into his grown man strength. This kid is, yeah, you still see he got that teenage body almost, you know, that young man's body. Keyshawn is a grown man, so I don't think it's ready. And I think when you got a guy like Bob Arum and you got a high prospect talent like Abdullah Mason, you ain't gonna throw him in there to get beat up by no Keyshawn or do none of that, right? So it's only smart. So as a businessman, Bob Arum be smart. Don't care about what the people say. The more the fight the more he look good, the better it looks. It's shaping up to be the bigger. It only can get bigger from here. You understand? So now they already popped it out. They already talked about the possibility. So the only thing it can do is grow. So I think Keyshawn, you know, he a lion. You know what I mean? And if you know, it seems like a threat or something is around, you know how it is. He got to just let it be known. And I think that's all it was. You know, it was just, you know, fella marking his territory, stomping his territory.
I know you know you in my cities, the 7 cities. Okay.
Exactly. So I don't want to hear no talk about nobody else. You hear me? Don't even approach me about nobody else. Shout out to the businessman.
Got you. Shout out to the businessman. And then the one last thing about the businessman before we keep going. Teofimo, you know that name coming up, man. Yeah. Keyshawn put it out there. There was an offer for him to fight, and he didn't fight. That sounds like that's 2 deals now that Teofimo didn't turn down. Turned down a supposed fight with him and Devin Haney was supposed to have been signed and sealed and ready to be delivered for an August bout. And then now Keyshawn put out the story where I guess Turkey Al-Sheikh was trying to set them up to fight, and that didn't happen. What's your thoughts on Teo versus Keyshawn?
Me personal, I think we should just blackball him.
Why you say that?
Just don't give him no money. Don't give him nothing. Let him go find somewhere else. Raise all that racial shit. Just don't fight him. Just leave him. That's what you say how you hurt him with success, or you hit him in their pocket. Just leave him alone. It's more fighters to contend besides Teofimo. Okay. He treated for all the wrong reasons anyway. So really he just need his ass spanked. But Then you gonna give him a paycheck. Nah, just starve him out.
Yeah, I should starve him
Fight
out.
though, you know, Teofimo, he could fight. But nah.
The antics are starting to overtake the skills.
Exactly. Too much. He didn't, too much. You feel me? I feel like almost how like Canelo feel about David Benavidez. You coming at us the wrong way for what? You ain't just coming at me, you coming at the culture? Man, forget you. Nah. And he ain't been looking that good in them fights. He ain't been looking like
So you wasn't impressed with that fight back in
none of them fights is lagging against Jermaine Ortiz or Barbosa. Feel me? Josh Taylor, I don't want to get into that. Like I'm saying, it was a good win. Lomachenko is almost what he didn't do the first 6 rounds, right?
Right.
First 6 rounds. Loma's a small lightweight. Feel me? It is what it is. You see how the back end of the fight happened. You know what I mean? So okay, so I mean now you gotta think too though, the way they had Loma hyped up. I think they said they even took a loss away or something. They said, I don't know this. All I'm just saying is that they overstated their win against Lomachenko and this guy. Teofimo's a good fighter, but is he a Lomachenko? No. Was he a virtuoso? No. He lost his first title defense against Kambosos. The first title defense you lost against Kambosos, so you went from here to here and one fellow suit. You know what I mean? Come on, bro. So, like I'm saying, he a good fighter, but starve him out. He acting up fucking.
I got you, man. So who's some people you would like to see Keyshawn fight in the future? Maybe the end of the year.
Everybody else, not Tio.
Everybody not Tio. He said blackball
Tio.
Tio. We getting Tio out of here.
Exactly.
You don't want to see the man on your shirt right there fight Tio when he finished the Canelo fight?
Who I gotta
No, the man on the track jacket, not the shirt, the track jacket, TBC.
He not gonna fight Keyshawn.
No, I'm saying you don't want to see him fight Tio.
Tio?
Because Tio's acting like he wanted to fight Bud.
Nah.
He said nah.
Forget him. No, don't give him no check.
Oh, he said, I'm standing on what I said, blackball.
That's the best way. You give him a check, no. Just blackball him.
You don't even want to see
Just keep him looking in. You know what I'm saying? Just keep the glass shined up clean and just looking over there. Tank don't give him nothing. Devin don't give him nothing. Crawford don't give him nothing. Boots don't give him nothing. Keyshawn don't give him nothing. He just, where do I go from here? Who else is over there? Ain't no, who is it? I don't know. Tell me. Who is it?
Shit, if he can't get none of those, then for the level of fighter Tio's supposed to be and what he's shown, I don't know who he gonna fight then. I guess we gonna do what you said, stall him out.
About that. Why he didn't fight Brian Norman and be something and get his own way?
I was just gonna ask you that next because there was reports about the Brian Norman.
Y'all top rank, you trying to be you the youngest, this and that, and go on and be champion 47 then. It's already in there. Go on and get Brian Norman. He kind of green. You know what I mean? He just new to the scene. You know what I mean? Go on and get the championship from Brian Norman. Nah, you don't want to do that because Brian Norman fuck him up. Now Brian Norman fuck him up. That's I wouldn't mind Brian Norman getting that money.
Okay.
Brian Norman can use that exposure. The rest of them guys don't need that exposure. So if I was Brian, if I was Brian Norman, I salute everybody. I want Brian Norman to get that fight. Everybody else, they don't need T.O. Brian Norman, that'll help Brian Norman. Brian Norman don't necessarily need him, but it'll help him in a big way.
I got you. So what do you think about the possibility of Brian Norman and Boots maybe then? Because if Brian Norman were to fight Tio, we might not get the Brian Norman and Boots that we want.
No, that's the fight that we want to see, and I don't understand
why it's not happening yet.
Yeah, because now they saying that this guy gonna move up, the kid gonna move up, but I thought he wanted to be undisputed. I don't know, but that's the fight I would want to see. That's the fight at welterweight. You know, Barrios about to fight Pacquiao, which is he using his status to get that, but that's the fight to see. Brian Norman versus, you know what I mean? Even though I think Barrios is good, but that's gonna be explosive.
Gotcha.
Two brothers fighting, it's always live with that.
It is.
That's why I swear to God, I wish Haney and Shakur would have fought. Because you see they sparring session?
Yeah, I seen the clip. That was some fire.
It was gonna be litty.
I wish we could have seen Haney and Shakur, Haney and Tank. Those would have been some fire fights.
You see exactly. You see the sparring sessions. It's just like with Floyd and us. What's the kid name? Chop Corley.
Yeah.
Just like with Zab Judah. You know what I'm saying? Them fights were spirited fights. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is about us. You know, I don't know how it is.
I was just gonna ask you that. Why is it we get up to fight another, but we won't get up to fight each other, man? And when we fight each other, look at Lamont and Tank's fight in March. That was explosive. That was a fight that pushed Tank. We finally got to see that button get pushed on Tank. It was a fire fight. Why we ain't getting no more fights like that?
Like I say, and on that part, like I say, you know, it was Haney at the time. As far as that, Haney could call the shot. Tank could call the shots. They don't do it. You got a guy like, you know what I'm saying, Shakur, you know, he young with an old soul, you know. He move on principle and stand on business, you know what I mean? And they don't like that. So like I say, I don't know why Haney didn't fight. It was an entertaining sparring session. I know the fight gonna be the same. They gonna be getting down. Man, I was excited if I could, you know, so it's on Haney. And I think Haney did himself a disservice with that. That would have really blew him up in a big way. And I think, like I say, I mean, they was evenly matched in a certain extent.
Okay. So since he's brought up Shakur, what's your thoughts on his fight coming up next month? He fights on the 12th up in New York, Queens, New York. He's fighting William Zepeda, a top 10 contender at the lightweight division. What's your thoughts and what's your who do you give victory and what do you think the outcome? Decision, knockout?
You know who I'm
We know who you with, but what do you think the decision is going to be?
I can't say if he's gonna knock him out, but we know he's gonna win. You know what I mean? I would lay a dollar against a donut and say that he gonna win. And Shakur just an enigma. Who can solve him? I don't know. You know what I mean? He's just that dynamic. You know, he a virtuoso. Feel me? And so I like to see him against. That's what they want to see. The guy that throw 100 punches, 200 punches around or whatever. Can he crack the code? I don't know. And I don't believe that. You know, the kid is a virtuoso. So I just look to see him perform. You know, at what he best at, like Mozart, like Beethoven. You understand? You know what you're going to get when you come see him. So I want to go see his genius. I can't wait to see it on display, and hope this guy can, you know, bring out the best in him.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, man, it was nice rapping with you. Bernie the Boxer, man. Here was Smitty the Elephant in the room.
Appreciate you.